Hi, this is Matt Renfro, and welcome to my quizzes tutorial. This presentation is intended for all current and future educators seeking to utilize digital tools in their classroom. Quizzes is one of the best free digital tools out there. In my experience, it's best used as a tool to review material or to give formative assessments. My goal is to introduce quizzes to you as a way to engage students, deepen learning, and collect data in a fun and timely manner. Now, you may be familiar with Kahoot, a commonly used digital tool. Teachers use that for polling or reviewing in the classroom. And Quizzes is very much like that in some senses. This platform offers far more data to the instructor and provides the students with an alternative digital quizzing system. Kahoot's fun, but sometimes things like that lose their novelty, and we need to mix things up. Not only does Quizzes offer you a chance to mix things up, but like I said, a lot more data available to you as the instructor. So let me show you a little bit about Quizzes. So we're going to look up Quizzes here. Notice the funky spelling. Quizzes is free, which is fantastic. So you can create a new quiz. You can find a pre-made quiz. Maybe you want to look up the Revolutionary War or grammar. Lots of quizzes have been created over the last couple years. So you might be able to find one already made if you don't have the time to create your own. I'm going to go ahead and click Create New Quiz. We're going to give it a name, and we're going to call it FHSU. You can align this to state standards. You can add images to here as your home screen when students first log into this if you like, or you can just leave it very generic and basic like I'm doing here. Okay, again, just like before, you can search for existing questions. So maybe you want to write some of your own questions and you want to find some other questions that have already been written. You can look right here in the search bar, or we can create a new question on our own, which is what we'll do. Now, look, this is very similar. If you're familiar with Kahoot, this is an easy transition. It's very much the same. What color is the sky? All right. Several options here. We'll put in blue and we'll put in red. Maybe I don't want these other options, so I can delete them. I just want two options. If I want to add those back, I can do that. If I want to add images to this, I can. You just click on this. Oh, sorry about that. Image up here is what I meant to do. Images for the entire picture. So we want to mark what the right answer is, just like we do in Kahoot. So all right, there's our right answer. There's our question. We'll click. We can decide how long students need to take on this. I don't think they need any more than 5 seconds to determine what color the sky is. And we'll click Save. And if you decide, I think that question is a little too hard, you can always go back right here on the screen. You don't even have to go into it and make it longer. All right, and you want to add more questions, you just hit the plus sign and you keep going down. Single answers, multi-select, options are available. But for the most part, nothing too different from Kahoot in that sense. Like Kahoot, there's a leaderboard on here, point values that are assigned to students. However, you should know that you can toggle those options to be turned off. So if the point value and the leaderboard become more of a distraction for your students, they're focusing more on points and less on actually reading and getting the right answer, you can turn those options off. But if you leave it as the default, it will operate very similar to how Kahoot operates. And let me show you what that looks like from a student standpoint. So your students will go to Quizzes and they'll click Join a Game. Now, Quizzes can be used on cell phones. It can be used on laptops, tablets. I prefer a laptop or a tablet, but a cell phone will support it. So I've got a game going right now that I'm going to enter. This is one that I created that my students do every year. I have all the volume turned off right now, but right now there's a bunch of fun music going on. They can enter in their own name, they can enter in their nicknames, and just like Kahoot, if they enter in a inappropriate name, you have the ability to kick them out and make them put in something more appropriate. So I will enter the game. Kids love this. You're assigned a random emoji. You don't get to change it. Some students will exit out and restart in because they want a different emoji. You may have to put some parameters on that, but that's the random one that I got assigned. So as the instructor, I'm going to start this. Again, there's all sorts of fun music going on. You can turn that on or off as well. Now, what's different with Kahoot and quizzes is that on Kahoot, you've got the question and the options of the answers on one projection screen. And then everybody else's screens they're looking at just has those 4 colored options as an answer screen. For quizzes, the question and the answers, what you see here is on every single person's screen. And what's on my projection screen is actually the leaderboard and the live time point value. So people can look up at this board and see where they're at, but on their screen, this is what they see. Everybody. And you can randomize it. So if you don't want everybody to be looking at the same question at once because you're afraid people might be looking at the screen of their neighbors, you can randomize this and everybody's looking at a different question at the same time. That's what I prefer to do. There's a timer up here so they can see how much time they have in a more visual way than just a timer clicking down on them. So here's a question here about irony. And this is not ironic. So I'm going to say this is not an example. And I got it right. Again, there's fun music going. And look, they flashed me a quick meme. There's a quick meme that they flash me, and they give me my points. And the students really get into that meme thing, as you might know. So setting is defined as, okay, so it's the time and place, but I'm going to get this answer wrong. I'm going to say tone and plot. No, it tells me the right answer. And yep, here's another meme. Right or wrong, they're going to flash a meme at me. The kids just really get a kick out of that. And so that's something different from Kahoot Well. They've got memes flashing them. They get to see their right answer. They get their points. And up on my screen would be the leaderboard with where everybody's at. So that's what it looks like from a student standpoint. Let me show you then from an instructor standpoint what the data looks like. So I'm going to go to My Quizzes. This is like your library. Every time you create a quiz and save it, it'll be under My Quizzes. I'm going to go down to that one that we just did. Actually, I apologize. I do want to show you that all of your quizzes are kept under My Quizzes. So that is where you'll find your quizzes that you save. You want to see the data, though. You will get live time ending data at the very end of the quizzes when you end it, kind of a quick summary, but a more extensive report is under reports. So this is saved for you always, unless you delete it, so it's always here for you. And you can go back to your class and you can see how they did on that. So we'll do a class from last year that did this one we just did. And now I can see the accuracy overall, how many people participated. We can take a look at questions, and we can see the percentage per question breakdown of how many people got each question right. So we can see on questions where not a lot of people got it right, where we may want to go back and talk about tone a little bit more, because it looks like 37% of the students still aren't identifying it. Again, here's tone again. It looks like tone is an issue for students. So there's a way for you to gauge that. You can also look at overview, and you can see a grand picture here, a macro scale of the questions and which student got them right and wrong. And so this is broken down by students. So that's great. And if you linked it to standards, you would have some data there as well. So as you can see, a lot more data can be pulled from quizzes versus Kahoot, and it is arguably more enjoyable than Kahoot from a student standpoint. So that is what quizzes looks like in a nutshell. You can also link quizzes to your Google Classroom, and this data can be transferred to your Google Classroom gradebook instantly. So that's a cool thing. Quizzes just recently teamed up with Google, so now they work hand in hand. So that means that the teacher is notified when the students' quizzes are completed, and once it's complete, the teacher can see everyone's score. ISTE Standard 5C talks about exploring and applying instructional design principles to create innovative digital learning environments that engage and support learning. Quizzes does indeed apply to that. And ISTE Standard 7B, using technology to design and implement a variety of formative and summative assessments that accommodate learner needs and provide timely feedback to students and inform instruction. Quizzes does maybe a better job at that than any tool out there. So give quizzes a try. Thanks for joining me.